not spotted him.
And he goes jumping in. Amazing round. Great hatching from Taz.
He flashes in and casts the ultimate. Linux. What he held up. Oh, no, she will flash. The shield clutch.
Oh, a blink into all those units. An amazing defense. Champion of the Intel Extreme Masters.
All right, guys, I'm sitting here with Carmack, the mad scientist behind everything that is the Intel Extreme Masters. Carmack, first of all, I just want to thank you for helping us put this amazing event together. Do you have anything you want to say to the fans or the people at home that are watching this awesome tournament?
Well, one thing I have to say is, if you're somewhere in Europe, if you're somewhere in America, and it's the middle of the night or super early hours of the morning, thank you guys for tuning in. I really, really appreciate this. What we do here, I hope you also appreciate the fact that we spend $9,500 in the prize money so that every single player that comes here has at least $600 to justify the trip, to make sure if he's an underdog, like elfittaja, who's in the final. No one would have thought about it. I'm not really sure if a sponsor would say, hey, go to China, let's spend money on you. We spend that $600 to make sure that everyone is at least able to partially cover the expense. We're doing our best to, in the future, make sure that everybody who's qualified has at least the hotel for free. Please appreciate this tournament, because we can afford, with this kind of money, to bring some really pimp-ass Koreans to this place, but we prefer to give everybody an equal chance to show themselves. And today's tournament, it fills me with pride that we've got this Finnish dude in the hat that really, really managed to prove that the path that we have chosen is correct. And part of this is actually Ben, Mr. Bitter. We also want to give back to the community of these crazy guys who spend their hours to do this thing for you guys for free. Please give them love on Team Liquid, on Reddit. Please give Roti love. They really, really deserve it. And I believe they're just as good as any when it comes to commentating.
Kind words, Carmack, very kind words. You know, I predicted an elfittaja final.
I didn't get that, sorry.
I said I predicted elfittaja in the final.
I don't know, but if that was the case, then you are a true Brotos in Zerskin.
The proof is out there, man. All right, so we're sitting in front of some really cool gear and a badass hoodie. Tell us about this whole sick nerd baller thing we got going on.
So if people haven't followed or have been under a rock, each event, the community chooses the guy who gave them the most enjoyment, pretty much. So it is either, you know, a super good player or somebody who did something special. For instance, the Gimli Terran coming in here, being so cool as he is and looking like Gimli. That's one of them, but the others are Puma, Dimaga, who's really put on a great performance in group play. Obviously, we've got IdrA and the other semi-finalists, and obviously elfittaja. Guys, this sick node baller chosen by you will get this hoodie. We've only made one. MC has the orange Cologne edition. The grey Guangzhou edition will go to, I know who's leading and I know it's close, so you should really go to the ESL website or the intelextrememasters.com, the Guangzhou website, find the sick node baller voting, cast your vote as soon as possible, because it's really, really, really close right now. I'm not even kidding. The sick node baller receives from us a sick hoodie, gear from Razer, so a mouse bungee, the Black Widow keyboard, Orca, a fantastic, fantastic gaming monitor. These guys have been playing on the BenQ monitors. The whole tournament have been very happy with them. And obviously the most powerful computer processor on the planet, the Intel Core i7 Extreme Edition processor. And right here I would like to thank our sponsors for providing that hardware, providing that gear. Obviously, right now I'm giving them exposure, but without them, you wouldn't be sitting here almost falling asleep with your energy drinks, with your coffees, and watching this tournament. So we have to give them mad props as well. And hey, behind us are the trophies. These will go to the finalists. And I think this round has been going on for way too long. So I would just like to thank, before I give the microphone back to Ben, again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for supporting. Go tell your friends about us. We love esports, and we're doing everything for esports to stick around for years and years to come. And Ben, the rant is officially over. I give it back to you.
All right, thank you, Carmack. I would ask for a round of applause, but I'm not sure how many people here would understand that Carmack is really one of the strongest forces in esports. Thanks, guys. Thank you, China. Thank you, Guangzhou. Now, I am going to step up on stage and ask for a quick interview with our players. Greg, I'll just start with you, man. You did not have the best group stage. You went 1-2 in your group. And actually, you lost a series 2-0, or 0-2 in your case, to Elfi here. But you managed to get through on map score. You've played beautifully in your semifinal matches and, of course, in your quarterfinal matches. And here you are, about to play in the final. How do you feel right now?
I feel really good. I'm ready to play.
Okay. Tell me, Greg, are you afraid of Elfi's Protoss play, because he's been looking really good this week?
It's a really annoying way to play, but no, I'm not afraid of it.
All right, no fear from IdrA. One last question, Greg. Any special surprises for us this set? Have you prepared anything, or is it just going to be that tried and true IdrA style that we already know so well?
Well, they wouldn't really be surprised if I told you about it now.
All right. Elfi, first of all, congratulations on this awesome run. How many international lands have you been a part of?
Maybe 10 or something like that. I don't know quite sure. I played some big events in Warcraft 3 times already, but...
Okay, so for those of you that are StarCraft purists, y'all might not know, Elfi's got quite a history in Warcraft 3. He has made the switch, and he's playing exceptionally well this week. He's beaten some really, really good players. How confident are you going into the final?
I'm not confident at all. I'm so bad against Zerg, and I think IdrA is playing a lot better now than what he did when I beat him, so...
All right, man. Well, I know you've made a lot of fans this week. I know I was an Elfi fan before this tournament. I'm a bigger Elfi fan now. I predicted elfittaja in the final. I'm going to say that again so that everybody knows it. I predicted it before this event ever started. And here you are, so thank you for making me sound smart. Good luck to you, sir.
Thanks.
Good luck to you, Greg. Guys, I'll be backstage in just a couple seconds with the final from the Intel Extreme Masters Global Challenge, Guangzhou.
And he goes jumping in. Amazing round. Great hat-trick from Taz.
He flashes in and casts the ultimate. Lina, 20 health left. Oh no, super flashing. The shield clutch.
Oh, a blink into all those units. An amazing defense. Champion of the Intel Extreme Masters. And he goes jumping in. Amazing round. Great hat-trick from Taz.
He flashes in and casts the ultimate. Lina, 20 health left. Oh no, super flashing. The shield clutch.
Oh, a blink into all those units. An amazing defense. Champion of the Intel Extreme Masters.
Hello, guys, and welcome back once again. I just ran back here as quickly as I can, and right now I'm frantically trying to log into StarCraft so we can jump into this first game from the grand final. Just talked to the players, just talked to Carmack, and I'm so excited for what we have in store for us, Kev. I'm losing my voice, but I swear to you, I'm going to stick around for these next 5 games, and I'm sure they're all going to be epic.
I had to look up. I was like, who's this guy next to me, man? I've never heard that voice before, but Ben, you're overdoing it. Relax, son. We have a best of 5 to go. In game 5, you can go crazy, okay?
I'm going to make it. I promise you I'm going to make it. I swear to you, I never lose my voice. I think getting sick was a big part of it because it kind of messed up my throat a bit. But here I am, and we're going to make it through this last set, I promise. Kev, what do you think about this awesome final?
I'm really happy, and oh my god, the first map is going to be Tal'Darim Altar. Ben, who could have ever dreamed of us casting an IEM tournament together, having a ZVP finals, and the first map being played on Tal'Darim? That's so many stories in one final,
It's so appropriate.
guys.
I don't know that people necessarily understand all the storyline there.
The funniest thing is that Ben and me nowadays recently just moved in when the other Ben moved to USA, of course, talking about the Muslim. And yeah, there's like, we talk quite a lot about ZVP, mostly in a funny way, sometimes serious. But there's this one map which always comes to play, and that is Stal the Dream Altar.
Yeah, Roddy swears it's terrible for Toss. I swear it's terrible for Zerg.
Terrible, yeah, terrible. I just think it's really, really hard against a really good Zerg.
Yeah.
Terrible is always is a big word to use, because I can't really judge if it's terrible.
Yeah, I'll say this, Kev. I will concede that in recent weeks I've come to see the difficulty that comes with playing on Stal the Dream Altar for a Protoss player.
Nice, I showed you the light.
You have somewhat convinced me. I'm still not going to say that it's easy for Zerg or that it's unwinnable for Toss or anything like that. I still think 3-base Protoss is really, really, really good here. But as the metagame matures, as players get better and better, we see these games that go past 3 bases, and that's where it gets quite hard for Toss.
Definitely, but I never said it was easy for Zerg either, because I really think, I don't think there's any map in the map pool where you could say it's easy for this race, it's easy for that race. I mean, you're always going to have to play good, but there are definitely a few maps out there which favor one race over the other. And yeah, we used to have different opinions, but I'm very, very glad I showed you the light and the truth that lays within Stal the Dream Altar.
I am so jealous of you with your silky smooth voice right now. How do you do it after 5 days of rigorous casting?
I wouldn't really call it silky smooth, Ben, but if you want to call it. Anyway, it seems that everybody is ready. I'm ready. The Chinese guys are ready. Oh, Ben, here we go for the last time, or at least hopefully 4 more times after this.
The countdown has begun. Hopefully we'll get the game sounds turned on here shortly, because I don't hear those trademark blips. elfittaja versus IdrA on Stal the Dream Altar. I have no idea what to expect. IdrA did say in the interview that Elfie plays a pretty annoying style, but he's not necessarily afraid of dealing with it. Do you have any idea what he might have meant by that?
Well, that it's rather passive, and that it's also, I guess, slightly unorthodox. You know, Elfie loves his warp prison play, kind of how Hero plays. We were talking about that a little bit yesterday as well during dinner. And yeah, actually, it was kind of funny because it felt like IdrA was already quite confident yesterday. When we were walking back to the hotel, he started asking me questions about Zerg vs Protoss. He's like, all right, regarding this style of Hazuos, what do you think that is very, very annoying for a Protoss player to deal with if you play this style? What should Zerg do? And I was like, shouldn't you be worrying about Puma, man? He's like, yeah, I'm just wondering about it. And we spoke quite a bit about it. And I don't know, I think IdrA just doesn't like players to be overly passive, because if you play Roach Hydra, you basically you play a style which is bound to do some damage, because if you're stuck with 200 supply Roach Hydra, then yeah, 3-base Protoss is incredible scary, and that 3-base is quite easily to get on Stal the Dream. So I don't know, IdrA is definitely going to have to switch it up a little bit, but I really don't see him playing Roach Hydra over here.
Yeah, I'm excuse me, I'm pretty curious myself. Muta's been getting really, really popular, especially on this map. We saw Demaga very successfully play Mutas here against Hasu, I believe it was.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was Hasu. And that game was really awesome. Demaga wasn't even necessarily that aggressive with his Mutas, but he was still able to control the map and buy himself the time he needed to get that critical mass of Broodlords.
Yeah, and then suddenly he had a ton of Mutas as well. It was kind of funny how Demaga only went for 10 Mutas at first and did a little bit of harassment. Definitely didn't as much as he could have possibly done. And then a little bit later, he was suddenly like, what's up? I got 35 Mutalisks right now. And yeah, then it's just going to be so incredible hard for Protoss to defend against it. But we'll see. IdrA, not really a Mutalisk play, pure song against Protoss, to say the least. So I'd say I can't wait for Greg to surprise us, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty eager myself. Looks like IdrA is actually going to hatch first. And oh my goodness, Kev, this is a gamble if ever there has been one. Elfie's going to scout it right away.
But fortunately for IdrA, Elfie actually seems like he wants to go Nexus first rather than Fortune Nexus, which I actually think is quite a nice thing, because I think it's really, really hard to keep your hatchery alive if he's going to cannon rush you. But fortunately, and he's actually dropping the Pilot there straight away, but he doesn't even have a Forge yet, so I think this is just a fake, and he wants IdrA to pull a lot of drones.
Yeah, but IdrA's not going to take the bait. He's going to pull a single drone out. That's probably just going to be to chase the probe. If cannons go down, then IdrA will pull more units, but Elfie is just going to throw the Nexus down. There's no Forge at all, actually canceling that pylon, so now IdrA's like, oh, you're not going to actually cannon rush me after all.
I think he's actually quite happy with that, because once again, it's really not easy to defend a cannon rush when you open up hatch first. I'm not going to say that you have to lose your expand, but you're going to have to pull so many drones that even if you fight off the cannon rush somehow, the Protoss player will still be able to just expand afterwards, and he's going to have at least 6, 7, 8, 9 workers more than you do. So I think a little bit fortunate for IdrA right there that Elfie decided to go Nexus before Forge.
Yeah, I agree, and I apologize. I just had a small coughing fit. Hopefully didn't hear too much of that. Trying to drink some water. Oh my gosh, Kev. Falling to pieces here at the final, but that's okay. So IdrA's gone 15 hatch and then something like a 15 spawning pool. He's going to be able to make a lot of drones. He hasn't actually scouted Elfie yet, so he doesn't know exactly what the Protoss player is doing, but he should have a pretty good idea, just based off the fact that no cannons came.
Yeah, exactly. You're worrying me right now, Ben. We had so many promising plans for today and tomorrow. Don't tell me you're you're letting me down on this one.
Nah, bro, I'm going to make it. If I don't have to be able to talk to be able to party.
Okay, that's a good thing. We see Elfie right now having that probe on the right side of the map. He's going to try to see if IdrA is doing anything unusual. He checked that 3 o'clock position because once again it became also popular for Zerg players to get that incredible fast third hatchery over here. Whether it's on 6 o'clock or on 3 o'clock, that's most of the time just personal preference from the Zerg player. But IdrA not yet having one.
Yeah, that's
Doesn't
actually
have one yet.
a little bit curious for me, the fact that he hasn't taken a third base yet. I'm really wondering what he's thinking. He's also got no gas. There's a third hatch going down, but it's in his natural. So this is a little bit different. This is not necessarily the normal way that you see a Zerg play against fast expansion from Protoss on Tal'Darim Altar.
Yes, indeed. I'm curious to see, of course, what Elfie is going to transition into. Elfie from origin, yeah, quite a passive player, but he has these certain builds which are overly hyper-aggressive. Perhaps not necessarily all in, but yeah, they really edges the verge of all in. Or yeah, it's pretty much all in, but let's just keep it like that. And he does that now, and then he throws in those builds occasionally, and yeah, you never know. He's a very, very hard player to predict.
That's a good way to play, though, if you're a tournament player. If you allow yourself to be too predictable, you can often allow yourself to be punished. IdrA's actually been criticized in the past for being a super predictable type of Zerg player, but he manages to make it work with his excellent mechanics, and he's got really brilliant decision-making and game sense.
Yes, indeed. We have these overlords already in position. IdrA's scouting has been marvelous throughout this entire tournament, and I can only imagine he's going to show the same level of scouting in this final as well. And that's something that really, really worked for him as well. And even in the games, I mean, obviously these two guys played against each other in the group stage earlier on this tournament. Elfie managed to win the series 2-0, but both games it really felt like IdrA was dominating the pace, and IdrA was dominating the first 15 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with what you were saying there. I kind of felt like the games that Elfie won against IdrA were, not to take anything away from Elfie, but I feel like those were games that IdrA lost rather than games that elfittaja just outright won.
I definitely agree with you.
IdrA's getting such an early layer. He's got 4 gases. I really think he might be going Muta here, Kev.
That would be something. IdrA dropping the Muta bandwagon as well. Well, once again, Ben, nobody can blame anyone for playing Muta on Tal'Darim. On the other hand, I don't know it yet, though. Let's take a look from IdrA's point of view. What exactly does he know? He's quite active with his links, and he does have that Overlord in position, even though there's not really all that much to see. And oh my god, it's a 6 gate, and it means it's a 7 gate
yeah,
over here from Elfie. And that actually can be very, very effective against Mutalisk. You're going to need at least like 5, 6, 7 spine crawlers to defend this. And preferable a Roach one as well. If
you guys have been around StarCraft for long, then you already know this story. But for those of you that haven't been following the professional scene for ever since the birth of StarCraft 2, Muta was actually extraordinarily popular in ZVP. It was like the go-to build for the longest time. And then 6 and 7 gate became very, very popular. And Protoss learned that the real weakness of Muta is this timing between about 8 and 10 minutes when you're ramping up to get your mutas out. And Protoss players realized, hey, if I just attack them, Zerg just dies. And it looks like Elfie's metagaming IdrA very nicely here. He's saying, all right, this is a great muta map. I'm going to try the old tried and true 6 and 7 gate and see what happens.
Ooh, Elfie got a little bit lucky right there that Elfie didn't try to run to his main base straight away. Good job right there by IdrA, saving a little bit of time. We only have 2 spine crawlers, so IdRA's going to need way more spine crawlers than he has right now to be actually able to defend this.
Yep, throwing down quite a few spines, as you said, but I really don't know if it's going to be enough. There's going to be so many gateway units for Elfie.
I think if you have enough spines, it's always enough. And IdrA, all he has to do is save a little bit of time. And so far, he's been doing a pretty good job saving time. But Elfie has to know this. I mean, Elfie knows that IdRA's not coming, so he knows that IdRA's preparing right now. And he doesn't know how well is IdrA prepared.
Here we go. elfittaja is going to go push up that ramp. Lots of sentries in the mix. Decent force field is going to trap that queen. Spine crawlers are nearing completion, though, and 24 Zerglings on the way. Ooh, IdRA's looking like he might actually be kind of safe against this. It's all going to come down to the unit control here.
And force field as well. IdRA's been doing a really good job shutting down the spine, but here we go. The links coming in from the back from IdrA as well. This is going to be very tense, but I think IdrA will be able to hold.
Oh my god, the Ling's actually getting into the mix quite nicely there and killing so many sentries A bunch of Zealots remain, but against these Spine Crawlers, Zealots really aren't that good. IdrA looking poised to take this first game already, Kev.
IdrA looking very, very strong right now. He doesn't even have a single Mutalisk, but he has a ton of Zerglings. We do have that warp in piling over here from Elfi, but that's just not going to matter all that much. If we take a look at the income tab, though, it's only 49 probes against 51 drones, so that's not all that bad. And Elfi knows, and he's throwing up double Stargate. So Ben, this game is far from over.
Far from over, but Elfi's also far from being ahead, man. He's quite behind in my book. Even if IdrA loses this hatchery, he's going to have some map control with the Mutas for a little while. He's going to see the double Stargate, and then he can transition if he wants. I'm actually surprised that IdrA's allowing this hatchery to fall. I think he could have saved it with just his Lings.
First Mutas arrive right now. If I were IdrA, I would send those Mutas straight away to the Protoss side of the map, because you just do not want to give him the time to survive. I really don't think Elfi cares at all if these Zealots are going to die. These Zealots definitely did their job. IdrA is still chasing them down. So actually I think this is quite good for Elfi right now. IdrA using Contaminate on that Nexus. He's going to lose that Overseer though. But this is going to give Elfi the time to get a critical amount of Stargate units out. And he of course will be able to warp in a couple of Stalkers as well. IdrA does clear up those Zealots, but I don't think that was the right decision, man.
Yeah, I don't know, man. These Phoenixes coming out is going to... They're going to render this Muta harass pretty ineffective. But look at how few units Elfi has. He's got 3 Stalkers and some Phoenixes. Really, if IdrA just tries to break the front, I honestly think he could. Mutas could focus that cannon. Zerglings could kill everything else.
I'm not sure, man. I don't see it happening, and it seems like IdrA wants to go for it, though. At least with his Mutas doing a decent harassment. It's just a matter of time before the Phoenix count gets higher. Now we have 3 Phoenix already. IdrA losing a few Mutalisks, but doing decent damage, though.
Oh, man, IdrA doing great damage right now. Picking off a Phoenix, gonna get another Phoenix, maybe. Yes, the second Phoenix falls. The third. Elfi's not actually microing these Phoenixes. That's a bit of a mistake. Elfi's lost quite a few probes here. 14 workers killed already for our Zerg player.
Power of Mutalisks once again, but these Mutas are running quite low on HP right now, though, and IdrA doesn't seem to care all that much anymore. Just, the only thing he really wants is just kill as many probes as possible, and he did manage to kill 19 probes. And now IdrA is, of course, ahead with, well, 50 drones against 40, but he's going to have this hatchery up soon, and he's going to have the hatchery at the 3 o'clock position as well.
Yes, indeed. The Phoenixes are going to do a really nice job at repelling the Mutas eventually, but the Muta numbers are just so much higher. It's 15 Mutas to 2 Phoenixes. And that's not really something Elfi can fight. He's going to have to just keep the Phoenixes out of the fight until he has 7 or so, I would say. At which point he can start trying to kite the Mutas. But really, until he has close to even numbers, he can't fight the Mutas heads up.
IdrA coming in once again, though, just before these cannons are completed. He's actually going for the pylon. Brilliant move right there, because the pylon is powering everything. Losing power right now on 1 cannon and 2 Stargates. Good move right there by IdrA.
Yep, loses a Mutalisk or 2 there. Elfi's sitting on 5 Phoenixes right now. Elfi looks like he's defending reasonably well, but the supply is heavily favoring IdrA right now. He's up to about 120 supply.
And the worker count heavily favoring IdrA as well. He's 20 workers ahead, and he's morphing in 8 drones at once again. So IdrA is going to be close to 30 workers ahead, and that is really, really big. That's the moment where you can still make Mutas against Phoenix. Even though Phoenix are better than Mutalisk in the straight-up fight, you're just going to have an overwhelming amount of Mutalisk. And obviously the splash damage with a high amount of Mutalisk is really, really nice to have as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Once you have those Mutas in that critical mass that I think it's called a glaive worm. Let's click on them and see what that thing is called. The Mutalisk glaive worm, indeed. It starts bouncing around doing so much damage. Do you know what the spine crawler weapon's called?
Why would I know that, Ben?
Click on it and mouse over
that. That's silly. Alright, so we have this big group of Mutas right now cruising around the middle of the map. Elfi is getting decent upgrades for his air units, so actually decent. He's just getting +1, but +1 is very important since the Phoenix obviously attacked twice. So IdrA has to be careful, though. I mean, the bigger this Phoenix group becomes, the more scary it becomes as well. I mean, obviously IdrA has a superior economy, but Phoenix are more cost efficient.
Yeah, I agree with you. IdrA is choosing to fight here, and I don't think he's going to make a very good trade. Picking up a few Phoenixes with some pretty nice micro, but Elfi is going to kill a lot of the Mutalisks.
Oh, these Phoenix might actually be able to clear up all of these Mutalisks. Very good fight right there for elfittaja. 3 Phoenix do survive. IdrA losing all of his Mutas. IdrA seems to kind of have that plan, though, because he's already transitioning into Hydras, getting road speed, getting those ground upgrades for all of his air units. And now he's like, all right, man, you keep investing in those air units. You keep getting those air upgrades. I have Hydras right now. And, well, do we even have a robotics facility?
No, there's no Robo. There's no Twilight Council, certainly no Templar Archives. A lot more gateways going down, though, but That is probably not going to help against Roach Hydra Zergling, which is a really, really excellent army composition against gateway stuff.
That's a beautiful transition actually by IdrA, and he just seems to be in a commanding lead. I've been told recently on Team Liquid. Apparently I said demanding lead all the time.
Yes.
You should have helped me with that one.
Oh, I can't just correct you mid-cast. Bro.
Oh, you can. You do it all the time. So we have these Phoenix cruising around the middle of the map right now. IdrA being reasonably active with his Zerglings, but IdrA doesn't really have to do all that much right now. He's at 93 drones. That's a ridiculous amount of drones, and there are only 57 probes on the field for Elfi. But obviously the bigger problem for Elfi is that, as you pointed out, there's no Twilight Council. Ooh, these Phoenix are kind of out of position. He's losing one Phoenix straight away, and there's definitely no robotics facility. There's a Dark Shrine though. A little bit, of course, a DT action.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I don't know if IdrA's going to give Elfi the time for it, though. He runs up and he sees a pretty pathetic gateway force. And this is the part of the game where we just say, okay, Elfi, time to start planning your Game 2 strategy.
Yeah, pretty much. These Hydras right now dealing a ton of damage to these units of Elfi. And Elfi calls GG. IdrA wins the first game very, very convincingly, I think. And very well played by IdrA.
Extremely well played there by IdrA. I liked the way that we saw him defend the 7-gate in spite of the fact that he was going muted. That's something I've struggled with a lot.
But that's something that changes again. I mean, it's kind of how you said, but we never really had time to talk about it. Like, I mean, Protoss players realize that you can punish mutas with 6 or 7 gate. Yes, we realized that, but then Zerg realized again, if we get enough spine crawlers, it doesn't really matter anymore how many gates there are, because gateway units, on a certain moment, they just can't break spine crawlers anymore. And we saw IdrA on the screen right there, we saw Elfi on the screen, and I can't emphasize enough either on how extremely important it was that IdrA was using those links via the right side, via the destructible rocks, bringing them into the middle of the map and saving time, taking out pylons. I really felt that is what won him the game, because if Elfi would have arrived at IdrA's base 25 seconds before he did, then I think it was game over.
Oh, wait a second.
Can I join again? Oh.
Yeah, we got to rehost because we've hosted the wrong map. So we'll be hosting WCG Shakur's Plateau, which is the one with enough observer slots for everybody. I guess now that we've got a second of downtime, we can talk a little bit more about our awesome sponsors, Intel, Razer, and BenQ. These are the incredible corporations who have allowed us to put this whole event together, supplying peripherals and monitors and incredible Core i7 processors or something like that. I've got an i7 in my PC back home in the States, and it runs like a charm, bro.
You said that like a true American, Ben. So proud of your States.
I am
and of
so
course,
proud
guys,
of my States in my blue book. I'm cheering for my North American brother, my Zerg brother.
I'm just going to tell the players we are ready. And of course, guys, while we're not in game yet, once again, you can still vote for the Sick Nerd Baller as well on www.intelextrememasters.com. Don't forget, and you might make your favorite player very happy. You would make me very happy if you could play on me.
I just want the hoodie, man.
I want the rest. You can have the hoodie.
Really?
Nah, the hoodie is cool.
The hoodie is so much
but I'd rather have the
than
processor, the screen, and the Razer equipment.
Well, I've already got the processor and the Razer equipment.
You don't have the BenQ screen.
I don't have the
I mean, the hoodie is cool, but I can make the hoodie.
Whoa, you cannot make a Sick Nerd Baller hoodie.
Oh, yeah.
You can try to imitate.
Shameless copyright.
You can try to imitate the Sick Nerd Baller hoodie, but there is no recreation of a community-chosen Sick Nerd Baller. And if you were walking around in public wearing a Sick Nerd Baller hoodie, I'm sure that you would get completely mugged by a bunch of angry StarCraft fans who said you didn't earn that, Rotterdam.
I'm not saying that it's not cool, because I would love to have the hoodie, man, but if I really have to choose, then I have to go for the processor and the screen and the equipment.
You make me sick, Kev.
I don't. It's only,
Oh, man. All right, so we are here on Shakur's Plateau. We
Sensor.
actually don't have the... Okay, there we go. There's the game screen. So we have EG's IdrA spawning up in the top left-hand corner of the screen. He's the blue Zerg player. And down in the bottom right, Acer's elfittaja, or Acer Elfi, as you guys see him on the screen there. Elfittaja, I don't think would really fit in the allotted number of namespaces that we're given. So.
Yes, of course, IdrA did win the first map, and it's actually worth talking a little bit about it before action really kicks off, and we can actually analyze the build orders of these two guys. Elfi opening up with the forts this time. That's something that he could have done in the previous game, because then I think it would have been very, very good for him. This time IdrA's playing it a little bit more safe though. He's going for 14 pool and most likely the 16 hatch. And Elfi really doesn't seem confident at all against Zerg. I've been talking a little bit about it with him, and he just really, really despises playing against Zerg. He said it in all of his interviews as well, and he even seemed a little bit unconfident against IdrA, which is strange considering the fact he did win in the group stage.
Yeah, he beat IdrA 2-0 in the group stage. He did say though on stage that he feels like IdrA is playing incredibly well right now, and he feels like he's basically scared to be playing IdrA because, as you said, he's not super confident against Zerg. So.
Which massive international, sorry Ben, but which massive international tournaments did IdrA win? I know he won MLG once, but I think that's the only one.
He also won King of the Beta.
Well, that was online, right?
Yeah, I guess it was played online. He
He
also won IPL Season 1. That was also an online event.
Yeah, I'm talking about offline victories.
Yeah, I think the only one is MLG.
Ooh, so there's a lot of line on IdrA for IdrA as well. Becoming a double LAN champion. Then you're really part of the big boys, man.
Yeah, man, closing in on that golden mouse.
The golden mouse.
A couple of lings coming out for IdrA to knock out that pylon and chase this pro boy. This is going to allow IdrA to expand at the normal time. Elfi, meanwhile, has that Nexus building in his natural, throwing up a cannon just to be extra safe, and also getting that first gas. Kev, I always wonder when you're supposed to take your gases after a Forge expand.
Quite quick. You don't. You want to take them as soon as possible. Obviously, you can take them extremely quick, because if you take them right after the Nexus and you use 6 probes to mine gas, you're only going to have 11 or 12 probes mining minerals. That's obviously a little bit too much of the good stuff. But as soon as you have a decent amount of probes on your minerals, like 14, 15, 16, you really want to throw down as the simulators already, because if you have all the minerals in the world but no gas, there's really not too much you can do with it.
Oh, cool stuff. So Cyber Bandits goes down for Elfi, and as it does, IdrA takes that third base. This is a little bit more characteristic of what I would expect out of IdrA. Very, very fast 3 base, and lots and lots and lots of drones. IdrA hasn't taken any of his gases yet. This is pretty normal. He'll probably gas around 40 supply or so.
Yes, indeed. We see Chrono Boost being used on the main Nexus over here from Elfi, just trying to get as many probes out as soon as possible. He's currently having a small work lead over IdrA, but obviously that is just going to be a matter of time until IdrA is really going to drone up.
Yes, sir. Yeah, once you have 3 hatcheries, especially when you have 3 hatcheries with queens, that's when Zerg's macro mechanic really starts to kick in. You're able to make drones something like 12 at a time. And I know how much you love playing against a Zerg who makes drones 12 at a time, Kev.
Why?
Because you don't love that. You hate that.
I hate a lot of things in life, man. I love a lot of things and I hate a lot of things. We have Elfi actually trying to get a little bit of a scout off right now. And Elfi's already throwing down a double Stargate. And that's really, really quick, man. Because look at his natural expand. He barely has any units over here. He didn't even take his Fortress Simulator. That's a ridiculously fast double Stargate. And I guess he just really wants to see if IdrA is really taking that third base. And I would even go as far to say this is almost an all-in opening, because he really wants to kill that third hatchery. And if he won't kill it, then I don't really see how he's going to be able to win this game, because this is such a big economic investment.
Yeah, and I'm having a hard time imagining how he's going to kill it, because IdrA's going to have 3 queens. His Evo chamber is already about halfway done. And Elfi's actually making a Phoenix first, so...
Yes, I guess it's going to be Phoenix,
Double
Void Ray.
Phoenix. Yeah, I don't know how he's going to kill that without a very fast 3 Void Rays. Like, that would be one way that I think maybe he'd have a shot at it. But with double Phoenix before Void Ray, I don't think so, man.
IdrA didn't actually scout those 2 Stargates yet, though, so that is a little bit fortunate for elfittaja, because it could have been a lot worse. Because then I really think IdrA would have just thrown down 3 Spore Crawlers or something. He's slowly but steady getting those Overlords in position, though, and as soon as he realizes that there's nothing in the main base, not even gates, then 9 out of 10 times it's already a Stargate opening. Elfi, what are you going to do? Where are those Void Rays?
Oh, man, he's not going to make any Void Rays. This is just going to be a mass Phoenix build. This is really weird.
This is, I mean, this was around for a little while, but I mean, Zerg players became so good against this style that they're just gonna make a ton of drones, a few Spore Crawlers here and there, and they're like, all right, have fun killing my queens and killing a few Overlords here and there, as long as I have spores. And IdrA is already morphing in Spore Crawlers left and right. It doesn't really matter, because Elfi can kill 15 drones, and he's still gonna be 20 workers behind.
Yeah, that's actually exactly right. The best way to play against this if you're a Zerg player is to just continue droning. Notice Elfi's ground army consists entirely of a sentry and a zealot.
It's
so
non-existent.
There's literally nothing on the map for Elfi that can kill IdrA.
So these Phoenixes right now are doing a decent job. I mean, he already killed 1 queen, he already killed 1 Overlord. But as silly as it sounds, that's not going to be nowhere near enough. He's going to have to do so much more with these Phoenixes to actually pose a serious threat to IdrA. Taking a look at the income tab right now, 59 drones still against 42 probes. Every second that passes by, no matter how many overlords fall, it's a good second for IdrA.
Yeah, Hydralist in and an infestation pit going down for IdrA. Only making overlords right now, obviously, because he's quite supply locked, but that won't last for too long. 6 overlords on the way. Elfie going to come down to this third base, which is pretty heavily guarded by queens and spores.
I don't know, man. It's a weird strategy by Elfie. I haven't seen it for a while. Nice micro right there on the Phoenix. Does manage to kill one more Overlord. If we take a look at the resources lost so far, I mean that harassment looked very, very effective. But in the end, it's only 1125 minerals. And then considering the fact that IdrA has been up 20 workers for quite a while by now, what is 1100 minerals, man? It's absolutely nothing.
I agree with you, Kev. Look at this follow-up by Elfie. He's thrown down 6 gates and a robo.
Warp Prism?
I'm thinking maybe he's going to go with like some Zealot Warp Prism stuff. Maybe. How many Phoenixes does Elfie have? He's got 7 Phoenixes. The worker count's starting to come a little bit more even as these Phoenixes have done more and more damage around the map. So I don't know, man. I think maybe the second phase of this build from Elfie could make things pretty interesting.
That is true. We do have the infestation pit already though with those pathogen glands, and that actually could be very, very important for IdrA. Taking a look at his economy, he doesn't have that much gas though, because he did just make quite a few Hydra lists. But it's all going to come down to, you know, like if IdrA will be able to shut down the first warp in, then it's game over. And yeah, we do see that warp prism in production, or actually it's out on the field already. So Ben, we're right on.
Yeah. I love it when we're right, Kev. Makes us sound so smart.
I know. Doesn't happen that often.
It's a seldom occurrence. That Warp Prism flies right over IdrA's Zergling, so he's going to know what's up. There's actually a sentry inside of it.
That's really quite sloppy by Elfie. I don't understand it at all, because if anything, with those Phoenix, you will be able to clear these outside of these maps, outside of this map, with your Phoenixes, and then at least make it come with a little bit of a surprise. But flying over those Zerglings, I mean, IdrA right now is already bringing all of his Hydralisk in position, and I don't really see a world where this is going to work.
Yeah, Kev, I'm right there with you. The Infestor is out already. Lots of Hydras and Lings in the main base of IdrA. He knows this attack is coming. There's a ton of Zealots, though. It's all going to come down to the unit control. I guess these Zealots could do something special, but with Infestors in the mix, I don't really know how the Zealots are going to even hit the
that could be a sick fungal. Yeah, he actually lands a fungal on all of those Phoenix. But more importantly, these Hydras are ripping through all of these Zealots. The Zealots just do not have the same DPS, and now we have a couple of Phoenixes, but they won't be able to do anything. New warp in for Elfie. Oh, the Phoenix is joining in the fun now.
This is going to get kind of crazy. The Phoenix is lifting up all the Hydras, and now the Zealots are able to fight pretty much uncontested. There's a few Hydras in the mix able to hit these Phoenixes. That Spore Crawler also doing some damage, but Elfie's starting to hit back.
True, but we have a lot of Hydras on the way though, and just a few Zealots. I don't know if it's going to be enough for Elfie, even though IdrA's supply is actually dropping quite quickly right now, and those Phoenix are actually very, very effective against Hydras because of their light armor.
Oh my gosh, and a force field on the ramp is actually not good enough. Elfie allowing those units up. He's doing a lot of damage to IdrA's economy, killing quite a few drones. I really think he should focus down that layer, though. That might be a slightly better choice.
There's not that much enemy anymore. Beautiful fungal right down all of those Phoenix. And now these Hydras are killing a couple of them as well. A lot of drones falling for IdrA. Man, this is actually quite crazy.
Oh my gosh, IdrA all the way down to 90 supply, and he's pretty broke right now, Kev. Only 50 minerals for IdrA.
What?
84 supply to 106. Elfie looking really strong right now.
Elfie and his crazy strategies. Is he going to pull off another victory, which we didn't see coming, even though those Hydras right now are starting to look really, really scary. But the damage has been dealt, man. Even though I do think that IdrA finally has the situation under control. I don't think that's a great warping right now by Elfie. If I were him, I would land up those Zealots and just go back, because he doesn't have any energy on his Phoenixes.
Yeah, no more energy to lift. The Phoenix is just able to fly in and out and basically tank a few Hydra shots. But I do think IdrA has finally dealt with this. Elfie's still warping in under that warp prism. I guess if these Phoenixes get enough energy to lift up a few more Hydras, things could continue to be really, really, really close. Here we go, one more time.
Those Hydras die so quickly against those Phoenixes, but once again, they are out of energy, so those two Zealots won't be able to wrap things up. I think a couple of Stalkers would be brilliant right now for Elfie, even though 8 more Phoenix on the way. I guess all Elfie has to do is wait for those Graviton Beams to be ready. Right now he has 1, 2... Well, he's able to kill 3 Hydras. That is pretty nice. 3 Hydras in the blink of an eye will go down, but that is also pretty much it.
Yes, indeed. Elfie going to go for it one more time, actually lifting up a 4th and a 5th Hydra there. Those Phoenixes regenerate energy quite fast. Still warping in is Elfie. No third base, though, for Elfie, and IdrA does have bases around the bottom half of the map.
Oh my god, what defense so far by IdrA. He's under an immense amount of pressure, but he's actually hanging in there really, really well. Those Hydras are doing a good job right there, sniping 1 or 2 Phoenixes in the process. Elfie's money is, well, not that high, but he has a ton of gas, so you could think, do something with it. Right now, those Zealots are doing a decent job against those Hydras. I guess IdrA is looking somewhere else on the map. This is really, really hard for IdrA.
Yeah, it's extremely scary. He's all the way down to 70 supply now to the 92 of Elfie, and it looks like IdrA might actually...
the Hydralisk Den.
Oh my gosh, if the Hydralisk Den falls, then IdRA's going to be in even more trouble. IdrA looks like he's just going to sacrifice his main. Hydra Den falls. That means no more Hydras. There's a new Hydra Den being built somewhere on the map.
Natural.
That's in IdRA's third base.
Yeah, sorry. That,
yeah, the natural at the bottom left of the map. Spawning pool also falling. Lair looks like it's also going to go. IdrA going to push forward once again with about 8 Hydras, but there's so many Phoenixes.
Yes, indeed. I mean, this is quite a crazy strategy. And Elfie, obviously, Elfie is quite far ahead right now. He has 52 probes against 40 drones for IdrA. But IdrA might be able to come back, even though I'm loving this right now by Elfie. I kind of miss this one, but he did wipe in that robotics bay. And he is slowly but steady adding a Colossi to his army. And then it really doesn't matter anymore what IdrA does, because he just doesn't have the money to deal with Colossus right now.
Yeah, right you are. Elfie going to push forward once more with Zealots.
Oh my
and
god,
Phoenixes.
these Phoenixes.
Man, Phoenixes are really good against Hydras, bro.
GG
from IdrA. 1-1 goes the series. Wow, man. elfittaja. He can hang, man.
Very, very odd strategy here by Elfie. I haven't really seen it this
all
way.
the haters really need to just step back and say this Elfie kid is seriously legit.
I mean, he has cool strategies. Elfie has really, really cool strategies.
He
And,
got a little grin on his face.
He's like, yeah, I pulled that one off. That wasn't easy. Greg probably like, oh, that's ridiculous.
That's the Greg face, man. It never changes.
But yeah, on all seriousness, very cool strategy though by Elfie. I really didn't see a world where it was going to work, but I did like that he's like transitioning the double Phoenix play into actually the Warp Prism play, which is becoming more and more popular lately. But then it's just like Warp Prism gate only, or it's air units only. Now Elfie kind of combined both strategies, and man, how effective were those Phoenixes against those Hydras?
It was really cool. It was really, really, really cool, man. Usually when I see something like that, the Zealots just get chewed to pieces, but with the Phoenixes there lifting it all up.
Do you think that perhaps Roaches would have been a better position, better decision, I mean, that as long as IdrA would have just taken care of the ground with Roaches, and Roaches, they do not die as quick against Phoenixes as Hydras, not at all. Rather, the opposite is true. It takes quite a while.
Yeah, maybe.
So maybe he would have
like
gone to
Roach
Roaches.
And Fester and just try to land those really good fungals.
Yeah, and he already had the Spore Crawlers, he had the Queens as well. So I guess Roaches would have been a better choice than Hydras.
That's definitely a possibility. I think in most cases, Hydra's the right choice, but in that particular one, maybe it's questionable.
Yeah, I mean, obviously those Phoenixes are annoying, but once again, if IdrA wouldn't have to deal with all those units on the ground, which those Roaches might allow him to do so, then maybe it would have been an easier world for IdrA.
Yeah, the one thing you have to remember is, while Phoenixes can be really annoying and they can do a lot of harassment, they're not actually capable of winning games.
No, exactly. They won't win you the game. They won't force IdrA to leave the game just because there are a couple of Phoenixes in his base. So yeah, the longer I think about it, Ben, the more sense it makes that Roaches would have been a better decision.
Yeah, I'm actually
right there with me.
Starting to feel like you got that one right, man.
That's awesome.
Game number 3 going to happen on Terminus. And, God, guys, I apologize that my voice is going. I really feel bad about it. I'm going to have to, I don't know, go drink some tea and gargle some salt water or something. Do you do anything to make sure that your voice doesn't blow out?
I drink Jack Daniels.
All right, I'm going to do some of that, too.
A lot of Jack Daniels, man. So here we go, guys. Game 3 of this overall final in Intel Extreme Masters Global Challenge in Guangzhou. Elfie, of course, being our red Protoss, spawning on the top side of the map, and EG IdrA spawning on the right side of the map, being our blue Zerg. And I'm very curious to see how IdrA is going to play here on Terminus, and obviously I'm curious to see how Elfie is going to play as well. They played against each other on this map in the group stage, and that was actually a very cool game, where IdrA went for an offensive strategy regarding Roaches and Hydralisk. And yeah, dropping left and right, but Elfie was just prepared really quite well and didn't really take all that many losses. And despite IdrA playing a really, really good game, Elfie managed to take victory because in a certain moment, I spoke with IdrA a little bit about this yesterday as well, and like I told him, like regarding his style, I think it can still work. It's still a viable strategy, but I really do feel, and that's actually that's something that coming from me as a Protoss player, that if you want to win your games with Roach Hydra as a Zerg, you really have to outplay your opponent quite a bit. And if you make if you screw it up once, if you make one big mistake, losing 5, 6, 7 Corruptors, then it's pretty much game over. And yeah, once again, that means a lot coming from me as a Protoss player. But I do know that is how it is for Protoss playing for a Zerg. I mean, playing Roach Hydra against Protoss.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think in the game that IdrA and Elfie played on this map previously, the key mistake was the fact that IdrA didn't replace those Corruptors. IdrA didn't really hit that hive tech that he needed. IdrA just allowed himself to keep using an army that was basically mediocre against the standard Protoss death ball.
Yeah, I mean I mean Roach Hydra is inferior to a lot of Stalkers with nice upgrades with Blink and Colossus and Sentries. It would be a little bit strange if it wasn't. Then something would have really been wrong with this game.
Yeah, seriously. Then we can start crying about balance.
Yes, indeed. So of course it does make a little bit of sense, but yeah, once again, it's something that can still work, and certainly with the execution of IdrA, then yeah, you can definitely pull it off, and it's still a very, very valuable strategy. But once again, it really requires you to outplay your opponent.
Yes, sir. So we do have Hatch first here from IdrA against non-fast expanding Protoss player.
Was it Hatch first?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Sorry.
Well, wait. Was it a Hatch first? Yeah, it was Hatch first. It was like 15 Hatch, 15
yeah,
pool.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, kind of missed it. Doesn't matter. So Elfie will scout it over here, and that's always a nice scenario. In the old days, I really used to hate that. I'm curious to see how Elfie is going to play right now. If he's going to try to Chrono Boost gateway units out, and it seems that that is going to be the case, though. Chrono Boost already used on his gateway. Stalker is going to try to get in position. We have that hatchery over here on the right side of the map. Obviously, this means that IdrA's speed is going to be relatively late. So perhaps this Stalker will be able to do a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, a little
bit of damage.
That IdrA doesn't have a spine crawler here, because the spine crawler basically says, "Get away, Stalker." But we've seen IdrA's control. It's been really impeccable all week long, especially today. So maybe he feels like he can handle it with just slow lings.
We'll see. Elfie definitely has to do something, though. Otherwise, you're really quite far behind against the Zerg, who goes hatch first. And when you build your buildings in your main base, I kind of like this from IdrA, ignoring that Stalker. And he's going to try to get some information done with this Zergling. But I guess Elfie will take that Zergling out as well, even though an A for effort to IdrA, because I like the idea.
Yep, first Stalker is at the base of IdrA. He's actually just going to walk right up the ramp and go into the main. He'll be able to kite these links. Oh, don't get caught on the ramp, Elfie. Oh, slightly scary there. But Elfie will be able to micro that Stalker back safely.
I guess Elfie will just drop a Nexus really quite quick as well, because he's going to have to do something. Otherwise, IdrA's economy is going to be out of control, and Elfie is going to be quite far behind. But Elfie is obviously aware of the situation he is in. Oh, he wipes in 2 gates, though, before the Nexus. Ben, why would you do that?
I'm not so sure, man. Maybe he wants to all in here. He is forcing quite a few lings with these Stalkers. Speed about 3/4 of the way complete, though. So if Elfie's not careful, he might actually lose these units.
Yeah, we have quite a few links already on the map. Let's take a look at the unit counter tab. 14 links. That's going to be easily enough to take care of those 3 Stalkers. But well, Elfie does wipe in that Nexus after all. But I really think that was a wrong decision, Ben.
Wow.
I really think he should have wiped in that Nexus before adding those 2 gates.
Yeah, I think so too. IdrA throwing down his 3rd base. Feeling very, very confident here. The lings are going to poke out as that speed finishes. They're not going to be able to find those Stalkers, though, because Elfie's brought them all the way back home.
Perhaps Elfie was afraid of a big link counter, which obviously is possible from 2 bases as well. And if he wouldn't have those 2 warp gates yet, then a lot of links could actually do some serious damage. On the other hand, he does have a nice wall over here, and IdrA tried to do something over there.
Yeah, but now IdRA's just going to kill these rocks and go in from the back. So this is by no means a safe situation for Elfie.
No, yes indeed. Actually, I didn't really think about it like that. He has quite a few speed links right now, and that's something that normally you don't really find yourself in that situation on this map. Ooh, curious to see how this is going to play out, man.
Oh, Elfie's got to be really careful. IdRA's got a lot of lings waiting just outside of his sight range. Elfie knows that IdRA's trying to break down those rocks, so he's going to take some extra precautions, maybe make this this little ramp into the 3rd.
Oh, Elfie didn't actually warp his main gateway, his original gateway on the high ground, to a warp gate, and that actually could be quite a crucial mistake as well, because he could really use those additional, I'd say, sentries to drop those additional force fields. Blech.
Yeah, now he just sees it and he's going to begin warping it in, but like you said, he missed at least a production cycle or 2. Oh my gosh, IdrA sees the army of Elfie poking out, forces a single force field before backing it up.
We have a lot of energy, though.
Yeah, the HP on those rocks was lowered quite a bit, but IdrA does. Okay, no, he will finish. I guess not. He's going to let those rocks just kind of chill for a bit. So IdrA content to just back off and play normal. Roach Warren down for IdrA, +1 ranged attack going down for IdrA, and a lot of drones going down for IdrA. That's, of course, par for the course for the Kraken.
He's already at 51 drones, and he's morphing in 9 drones at once right now, so that means he's going to be at 60. Well, if we look at Elfie, he's only at 39 drones, or 40 probes right now. Apologies. Oh, Ben, I'm starting to lose it as well.
Yeah, man, it's been a long week. This is the first time that I've casted for 4 consecutive days for 8 to 10 hours a day with no breaks at all. It's been a pretty grueling week, but it's been a lot of fun.
It's been a hell of a lot of fun. I'm really really nice to be here, and I'm obviously hoping that the last 2-3 games are going to be equally as exciting as the rest of the games we've seen earlier today. Now I'm really starting to lose it. Let's just focus on the game instead of trying to talk about irrelevant stuff. We do see that the robotics bay being wiped in right now by Elfie in his main base. A lot of roaches on the way for IdrA. Hive is almost there, and then not Hive, Layer of course, and then it's going to be a little bit more clear what IdrA is aiming for, but it might just be that Roach Hydra style once again.
Yeah, I think that is what we're going to see, even if it's not Roach Hydra, just at least some pure Roach for a little while. Layer just now finishing for IdrA. Roach speed probably going to start with his next 100 gas. IdrA's economy looking really nice, going ahead and taking a 4th base. Love the way he's playing right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's really solid, and once again, IdrA has really been on top of things, but that's the same as he played against Elfie before on Terminal 3, and once again, he is getting a Hydralisk then, so I guess he will get Ventral Sacks a little bit later on as well. I think this is Overlord movement speed, which is already on its way, so it kind of seems that IdrA wants to play a similar style as what we've seen him do before, and it can definitely work on Terminus, but once again, making one mistake as a Zerg player, and that Colossus count gets out of control, then it's going to be really damn tough.
Yeah. I mean, we saw it, I guess it was 2 days ago. That's exactly what happened. IdrA made a mistake or two, and the Colossus count got too high, and he wasn't able to deal with that army. I'm sure he learned from it, though. IdrA's not the kind of player that does the same thing over and over and over and never makes any adjustments. He's too good for that.
Gonna research Hydralisk range straight away. Roach speed is almost done. He's having a ton of drones. Seems like he just wants to go for an attack up front. He's bringing those Overlords as well. It was already at 150 supply. Elfie's only at 94 though. This is actually a little bit promising, Ben.
Yeah, IdrA could actually split this up, attack the third and the natural at the exact same time.
And he's using the creep highway to to improve the mobility of all of those Hydras. I'm really liking what I see here from IdrA. Of course, he's really going to have to do some serious damage over here, but I do think that he's almost bound to do some serious damage.
Oh, the Ling's getting a nice surround. He's going to make Elfie stand and fight for a little while. The Colossus takes a lot of damage, but does not fall. Really nice force fields by elfittaja.
Yes, indeed. Very, very solid force field right there. Those Roaches try to bust to the left side of the map. We have a lot of gates right now for Elfie as well. I'm very surprised he did not get a single cannon or 2 over here. I actually think that's quite a mistake.
IdrA did manage to break down that wall, so now Elfie's going to have to defend 2 places at once. This is going to get really, really complicated for Elfie.
Oh my god, IdrA is up 65 supply. We do have 2 Colossus though, and 2 Colossus are also scary for this army. Nice force field right there. He will be able to get a couple of free Roaches, even though he's going to have to micro his Colossus. Beautiful Zealot right there by Elfie.
Yes, indeed, that one Zealot saving so much time. Oh, IdrA picking off a pylon. That unpowers one gateway. Now the Roaches going to try to get up into the main. Really nice force field there by Elfie. IdrA immediately turning those Roaches around and fighting 160 supply to 110. IdrA just streaming in with more and more units.
He's going to have to be careful. He might be able to kill both Colossus right now. He takes down 1 Colossus, and these 2 Roaches will be able... No.
Not Hero Roaches instead. Hero Colossus, but IdrA pouring on all sorts of pressure into the third base, into the natural, trying to get into the main, but Elfie doing a great job at defending on all fronts.
Yeah, Elfie did actually a really good job so far. We have 1 low HP Roach in the main base of Elfie. That Roach is kind of lost. But right now, Ben, it's only 73 drones anymore. Well, now 77 drones against 67 probes. And these were the things we were talking about. You know, Roach Hydra, it can definitely work. But you're going to have to do a ton of damage. And I do feel that Elfie defended that very, very beautifully. He kept his Colossus alive at all costs. He did lose 1 of them. But some beautiful force fields here and there. And despite being down 40 supply right now, well, it's only 30 right now. It's not all that bad anymore. Well, just 50.
Not all that bad as the Colossus count is climbing. And if he can get to 4 or 5 Colossi, things are going to be looking really nice for Elfie. IdrA's still got quite a few windows where he can do some damage. He's maxing out, which means he's probably going to throw a bunch more Roaches at Elfie at some point, at which point he'll just transition into Mass Corruptor.
IdrA right now just making 8 more drones, and he's actually going to make a lot of spine crawlers, something we've seen Dimaga do a lot as well. But I do feel that's something that makes a lot of sense if you actually want to go for Hive and Broodlords. And he is thrown down at the infestation pit. He does have that Spire on his way, but is it really for Hive and Broodlords? I don't know, Ben.
Man, I'm so impressed with Elfie's ability to defend that from so many different angles. He multitasks that so well for a player that just doesn't play that fast. Really, really incredible. Infestation pit finishing up. Hive probably going to start soon. Spire is also done. So I do expect to see IdrA throw away some units and start adding in Corruptors.
That shows once again, Ben, that as long as you think about your actions, it's often more important than having a ton of speed. And well,
so true.
IdrA's actually minerals patches, even on his third base, are running quite low already. Elfie obviously has quite a bit more left. Elfie seems to be, he wants to get a little bit aggressive already. Hive is on its way in 6 Corruptors. I do not think that 6 Corruptors is really all that much though. Oh, a little bit of a Zergling run by. Not that many, but enough links to do some serious pressure.
Yeah, that's at least going to force a warp in back here in the.
I don't think he should have gone for that whole position move. I think right now he should have just been attacking.
Yeah, maybe a small mistake. I don't think he would have killed too many more probes though. Those lings would attach themselves to the Zealots.
Oh, I'm a little bit worried right now for Aegis IdrA. He does have a lot of roaches. He does have those Hydra lists, but the Corruptor count is really not that high.
Nice angle for Elfie here, able to do quite some damage with those Colossi. IdrA is way, way maxed, but I'm not sure that his army is good enough to deal with what Elfie's throwing at him.
Elfie is getting Blink now as well, and as soon as Blink is ready, it's going to be so hard. Oh my god, these Colossus are doing a ton of damage to the army of IdrA. IdrA is trying to remax in time, but I think Elfie is really, really taking control of this battle.
Oh, Elfie, I cannot believe how good you're playing right now. Looks like he might deny the 4th base for IdrA. He's really hammering back that Zerg army. 190 supply to 160. What can IdrA do, Kev?
He's having a ton of units on his way. 26 roaches now at once, but I feel like all of the units are just dying before the reinforcements come in. He's losing that also important hatchery in the middle of the map. He does have a hatchery on the south side of the map as well, but he has literally nothing there. And it seems like IdrA wants to go for a little bit of a counterattack.
Yeah, IdrA's out of gas, means he can't make Corruptors. He's only able to really pump out roaches. He's probably going to be able to shut down this expansion of Elfie.
Oh, he's engaging on creep right now. That actually might turn out pretty good.
Oh, really nice surround. Killed a bunch of Colossi. Excellent control by IdrA. The supply of Elfie starting to dwindle a little bit here. 120 to 170.
Oh my god, can IdrA actually turn this around right now? Roaches and Hydras coming from all directions. This Colossi is so incredibly important right now. Blink is almost ready. Man, where did IdrA get all of these units from?
Oh my gosh, IdrA's macro always impeccable. The Colossus does finally fall, and now Elfie has 110 supply against a maxed out Zerg. What the hell is happening right now?
Ben, did you see this Protoss army which was over here killing every single unit that IdrA has, and now Elfie has 120 supply and IdrA's maxed out.
Man, what impresses me even more is the fact that IdrA didn't just GG right there. Maybe the IdrA from 6 months ago would have, but he stuck around and he turned it around, and now IdrA maxed out once more. Elfie has only a single Colossus. Can you believe what we just saw, Kev?
Not again, Ben, but no, I cannot believe it. This is ridiculous. And Elfie, of course, lost at the Nexus as well. I guess IdrA read that situation really well, realizing that if Elfie's ever going to get that 4th base up and running, then it's really game over, because IdrA just lost at 4th base, and well, he's actually going to be able to saturate this base right now in the 6 o'clock, because he has time to transfer drones. That's ridiculous. I have no idea where IdrA got all those units from. Man, live inject is good.
I have no idea either, man. The fact that he was hitting those injects, the fact that he was spending that money, the fact that he was able to pump out those units with no gas.
So sick.
Really, really awesome play there by IdrA. Really awesome. He stayed so collected. He didn't freak out. Man, he just hung in there. I really thought that game was over.
I really thought that game was over as well. Certainly after a moment where IdrA, I mean, he was macroing like a monster. You could see it in the production tab all the time. 20, 30 units on its way. But it just felt like that was not going to be enough. Even though Elfie right now, he came up to 173 supply again. So I guess he's going to try to secure that 4th base. But IdrA is getting that Great Aspire once again. Last time he never used it though. But I think this time he will use it. And man, I cannot believe that IdrA survived. That's insane.
He's a survivor, son.
Can you sing that song of Destiny's Child?
He's a survivor.
He's gonna make it. We have a couple of links right now running to the left side of the map. Do we have a Zealot? Yeah, Zealot warp in. Not sure how many of those. Oh, actually a couple of Zerglings passing by. I have a Zergling in my base, and they're attacking my Zealot from both sides. We do have Blink as well, though, so Elfie will be able to clear out those Zerglings. Elfie right now at 183 supply, IdrA at 187. IdrA having quite a bit of many banked up though, but obviously that is on purpose. And here, what is the magic spot for the Broodlords? This is it, man.
Magic spot is right over everything else. Well, I guess right behind everything else. 199 supply for IdrA, 191 for Elfie, but I really don't think
7 Broodlords.
I really don't think Elfie can handle the broods.
I don't think so either, man. 7 Broodlords is a ton of Broodlords. On the other hand, Elfie's army, what on earth are all those Zealots doing? Zealots are really not that good in this phase of the game. I would prefer any other unit. Well, he's just going to send it to the south side of the map, but we do have quite a few spine crawlers over there as well. Man, IdrA's prepared.
Man, really showing us some super high-level play. Here we go. The army of Elfie poking forward, and he says, oh, those are quite a few Broodlords.
A couple of Broodlings chasing down this army right now. Elfie, how are you going to react to that? He is getting +3 on his Stalkers. I don't really think he has the money to, this Colossus. He might actually kind of forgot about that Colossus. And it's very important he brings that one along, because every unit counts right now. Elfie's actually down 21 supply. There's no way that he can kill IdrA's army right now.
Yeah, he really needs to mix something in, something to deal with these Broodlords. IdrA looks like he's about ready to go on the offensive once again. Elfie going to find quite a few Overlords just out in the middle of nowhere. The speed upgrade going to help some of them get away, but IdrA does get knocked down below 200 supply, at least momentarily.
Well, Elfie losing a few Stalkers left and right, though, and he still did not bring in that one Colossus of his main base. He's going for the offensive blink. The Broodlords are a little bit exposed, though.
Oh, I don't know if this is the best choice, man. There's so many roaches surrounding everything. The Colossi doing some decent damage. Another offensive blink. But Elfie's supply is falling so fast, Kev.
There are not that many Broodlords left anymore, but there are a ton of roaches and 20 more roaches on the way. IdrA is still maxed out. Elfie lost pretty much everything, and Elfie calls GG. IdrA wins in an insane way on Terminus Re.
Wow, man, I am... Why doesn't he ever change the expression on his face?
He's like, all right, there was 185 supply of Protoss units killing my 4th base, and I somehow survived, and I just won the game. Why would I change my facial expression?
Why would I smile about that? Why would I be happy about that?
Oh
I tell you what, Kev, if IdrA wins this next game, I guarantee you we'll see a grin on his face. Elfie looking a bit perplexed there. He thought he had that game.
I think if IdrA wins the next game, he's going to have that small, like that not bad face. Do you remember that one that he made after Selak beat Hawk in that tournament? Yeah, that one. We have to show that one. Not bad.
Not bad.
That's of course IdrA's legendary not bad face. Obviously, guys, we are playing best of 5. Unfortunately, we're not playing best of 7. I actually think a lot of people would prefer best of 7, including myself, even though it's been a long week, man. But those extra 2 or 3 games,
I don't know if my voice could handle best of 7. I would do it, of course, for esports.
Oh, man, you've seen my ears.
Your ears, dude. We're going to put a photo of that up on Reddit.
No.
Guys, Kevin is the only person in the world that experiences chafage of the ears when casting. Like, athletes, sometimes they get some chafage in certain areas because of equipment that you have to wear, because of rubbing that happens when you're doing certain athletic activities. But Kevin actually has chafage of the ears from the headset, and it looks pretty gnarly. Like, you've seen how wrestlers get the cauliflower ear. That's kind of what Kev's got going on. But he's never stepped foot on an MMA mat, I don't think, in his life.
No, man. Fortunately, I didn't. I don't think I'm prepared for that. Maybe the day I've got Happy Zerg's biceps and Dimaga's shoulders, I'll go for it.
And Candy Shop's wicked smile.
Exactly. Anyway, guys, Game 4 of this Intel Extreme Masters Global Challenge Grand Final between IdrA and Elfie. Obviously, IdrA being our Zerg on the north side of the map, Elfie being our Protoss on the south side of the map, or the left corner of the map. And Elfie, man, he has to be worried right now. He really looked pretty good on Terminus Re in a certain phase of the game. And I really thought, once again, IdrA, why are you holding on to this Roach Hydra style? It's so hard to win games with it. It's not impossible, but it's so hard. And just on that moment, Ben, when I was about to say it,
190 supply of roaches.
Yes.
No problem.
Roaches. Larva inject. 75 minerals, man. I'm gonna go there again. Just kidding, I wouldn't try to go there. Elfie is right now scouting the main base of IdrA. IdrA did not throw us down a spawning pool yet. Well, there we go. He's throwing down an extractor. Actually, it seems like we're going to have a speedling opening over here for IdrA, which is, well, quite fine, I'd say, on South Niagara Caverns.
Yeah, 15 gas, 14 pool. Yeah, I like opening speedling here. It allows you to try and punish a greedy toss. And it gives you so much map control against a toss that just plays normal. So definitely a good choice for this map, in my opinion.
I'm curious to see how Elfie is going to play, because pretty much on every map he plays kind of different. What I'm expecting from him over here is, I think a rather passive play with Colossus, and I think he's just going to try to slowly take a turret. On the other hand, how that game on Terminus just turned out, he has to be slightly worried about IdrA's macro, and I'd be very worried about IdrA's macro. if I were playing against him, because that was ridiculous, man. I mean, that first engagement, it pretty much went as good for Elfi as it could have gone, and his Colossus, they got so many shots up, even when IdrA was like stalling time for reinforcements. Like the army that he did have, it dropped down to yellow and orange HP just because the Colossus got so many free hits up, and I was like, there's absolutely no way that IdrA is ever going to win this fight.
Yeah, I don't really have an answer for it either, man. The fact is, he macroed very, very well. He set his rally points very, very intelligently, and he engaged that last fight perfectly. So,
which is pretty hard when you have hatcheries, when you have 5 hatcheries on different positions of the map.
Yeah, yeah. IdrA is one of those players also that hotkeys every hatchery individually. So he's able to set those rally points individually. Yeah.
I must say, IdrA's groupings are really impressive as well. Like, as soon as he has, let's say, Roaches, Hydras, air units, and Infestors, he has 3 different control groups. And that's something you don't see all that often anymore in StarCraft 2. And I really do think that once you master that, if you're able to handle those 3 control groups perfectly, then it's something that really, really pays off for you. And that, in the end of it, I really think that within 6 months or a year, that's going to make the difference between the good players and the absolute best, the tournament champions, man.
You only use 1 control group?
IdrA?
You?
No, I don't use it.
How many control groups do you use?
I use 2 most of the time. I use 3 now and then. I mostly use 1 and 3. I use 3 for air and 1 for ground. And sometimes if I have high Templars, I put them on 2. But if I can get away with putting them in 1 as well, if I don't have that many sentries, for instance, then I try to put everything in 2 groups. Okay. But Elfi, for instance, often has all of his units in 1 group, while IdrA actually has them in 3 groups. And yeah, that really means that you can test your opponent quite a bit. And obviously IdrA is able to push his limits way further than Elfi is with putting his units in 1 control group.
I use
oh, Ben, those are a couple of real quick roaches over here for IdrA.
That's crazy. I didn't even notice that.
And he's only at 18 supply. This is a roachling all-in over here from IdrA. And it's a 1-gate fast expand over here by Elfi. He only has 3 sentries, 1 stalker.
Oh my gosh, what a smart move here by IdrA. Elfi's never going to expect this. He's got no forward, so he can't make a cannon.
The man who doesn't cheese is now about to cheese in one of the most important StarCraft 2 games he's played in a long time. More and more links are streaming in right now from the north side of the map. 10 links at once getting morphed in. We have 4 sentries. Sentries are horrible against roaches, decent of course against links. We're going to need stalkers for Elfi, and he's going to have to chronoboost his gates, and he's still completely unaware of this.
Oh, Elfi, what are you going to do? It's going to take the best control of your life. Here come the roaches, and here come the speedlings.
Speedlings right now getting a surrounded straight away. Oh, strange force field over there by Elfi. The roaches are still able to shoot on them. So far, not a single sentry died though. Now 2 sentries died already. He's going to be able to warp in 1 more sentry, 2 more stalkers. But I don't know, Ben.
Man, I think IdrA's going to unpower 2 of these gates at the same time. Both these pylons getting really low.
We have a probe. He should drop a fight, and that's exactly what he does. But more and more links streaming in. Will IdrA be able to do this?
I think he might. Elfi's in a lot of trouble right now. Kev Roach is able to shoot up onto that high ground from the Zergling vision. The last of the links do get cleaned up. IdrA just waiting for that force field to expire. What can Elfi do?
Evil Genius IdrA seems to be the champion of this Intel Extreme Masters. Links right now in the main base of Elfi, and Elfi calls good game.
Oh my God, IdrA closing out the series still.
No, not bad face.
Still emotionless in that. Takes off the headsets. Where's that grin, Greg? Come on, show us that smile.
Where is the not bad face?
Not gonna happen. He's unhappy. He shakes his head.
Yeah.
Damn, I can't believe I lost that 1 game. Yeah. What the hell?
Greg, what on earth is wrong with you? We see Elfi on your screen there as well.
Oh,
I mean, Elfi played a phenomenal tournament, and who could have ever predicted that Elfi would reach into the finals of this Intel Extreme Masters Global Challenge here in China. But yeah, IdrA, I mean,
smart to do that in that situation. On zone,
you could have kind of seen it. You could have kind of seen it coming. IdrA was just absolutely on fire in the last best of 3s he played in. I mean, the best of 5 against Revival, he looked so strong. Against Puma, he looked insane. And yeah, you kind of felt it coming.
Playing some of the best StarCraft I've ever seen is IdrA right now, and man, Elfi looks a little bit distant. He's got the whole.
Elfi looks so sad, man.
But he can't be disappointed with this run. The first really big StarCraft 2 event he's been able to attend, and he did. Really,
well, yeah, I mean,
really
he went to a few big events, but never outside of Europe.
Yeah, so he's here in China, finishes 2nd at the Intel Extreme Masters Guangzhou. IdrA, his 2nd big land victory in his StarCraft 2 career.
That's super impressive. I mean, hands down to IdrA. He was down, he was 0-2, 1-4 in map score, and everybody was already like, oh, IdrA is disappointing again. And it was kind of funny because I actually read a few comments where you said, IdrA is 1-4, who could have seen that coming? And then a few people both said, a lot of us, or many of us. And well, who could have seen this coming? IdrA bouncing back like that.
Bouncing back to win the entire tournament. What an amazing story.
And look at his run as well. Like in the last games he played, 2-0 against Jim, 3-1 against the Korean Zerg Revival, 3-0 against Puma, and now 3-1 against elfittaja, who had a remarkable run as well throughout this entire tournament. Ben, I think we've seen an amazing StarCraft 2 tournament here in China.
I could not agree more, man. Hats off to everybody. There we see Puma congratulating his teammate.
That's cool as well.
Damaga there giving some Zerg love to his Zerg homie. Kevin, it has been an awesome week, man. I want to take a couple seconds just to thank you for casting with me. It's always a real pleasure. I want the whole internets to know that I love you like a brother, bro. It's been a real blast.
Brother love is brother love, man.
That's right, dog.
Same goes for me. Now it was absolutely awesome. So yeah, guys, I think that's going to be the. I think it's going to be the last moments for me. So that gives me a small opportunity to thank you as well, Ben. It was always fun, and obviously thanks to ESL for bringing us out here. Thanks to everyone who tuned in and watched us throughout this entire tournament. And yeah, I guess we're going to be right back with an IdrA interview. But yeah, that was it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I definitely did. So Ben.
What's the most amazing thing you ever saw? Was it something big or something small? Something old or something new? Or maybe, just maybe, it's something you haven't seen yet. The second generation of Intel Core processors. Stunning visuals, intelligent performance. This is Visibly Smart.
Phil, have you found opponents already? Phil? Phil! Do we have an opponents yet? Phil? Phil! You're not fantasizing about my girlfriend again, are you?
Boring! Are they penguins or are they sloths?
They want a show? We'll give them a show. Ready, Kowalski? Roger that. Operation Rico Star is afoot. Bingo. Look at him go! He's crack-a-lackin'! Mission accomplished! No more smiling and waving for us, boys. High fives all around!
When the second generation Intel Core i5 processor goes in, amazing visual performance comes out. That's Visibly Smart.
The third global challenge of the 6th season of the Intel Extreme Masters, we're going to be returning back to New York City. Last year was a huge success, and again we're at Comic-Con from the 13th till the 16th of October for the Intel Extreme Masters with Counter-Strike 1.6, StarCraft 2 and League of Legends. Make sure you join us at the Javits Center if you're in New York, but of course we'll be broadcasting everything live here on esl-tv. Don't miss it.
All right, guys, welcome back to Guangzhou, China, where we have just witnessed an amazing final between IdrA and elfittaja. IdrA, of course, taking the title of the Global Challenge Guangzhou champion, winning that series 3-1. It was a lot of fun. Carmack, first of all, do you have any impressions on the games we've seen?
I have to say I really love the games. IdrA played really, really well. Both players qualified for the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship. So we will see MC, Puma, IdrA, and elfittaja for sure at Siebert in Germany. The rest we will find out. New York City is the next stop. I can't be more excited. It's going to be great, a great week for esports, especially for StarCraft. We're going to have both Intel Extreme Masters Global Challenge of New York and MLG Orlando. Please make sure you tune into both. I hope you have 2 monitors, and if you don't, you need to get yourself a second one.
Maybe you could get it from BenQ.
Maybe one from BenQ, definitely very good monitors. So, what do we do now?
Well, I would love to bring IdrA over here and have a few words from our champion. So, Greg, if you would please just join us just for a second, man. Congratulations on an awesome performance here, going from 1 and 2 in your group to winning this entire tournament. I know you're feeling good right now, but I want to hear it from your lips. How does it feel to be the China champion?
It's awesome to be the champion. Honestly, the finals were a little disappointing. I wish me versus Puna had been the finals. Did you not get that?
I got that.
Okay.
Okay, so sorry about that. Just got to reposition for the camera, that's all. Yeah, the matches versus Puma were absolutely epic. I don't want to underscore the awesome performance that we had from Elfie here. So I do want to ask you about your strategy on Zelnaga. This is the first time we've seen you all in all week. What was your thought process there?
I just didn't want to play along as EVP on Zelnaga. If he manages to get up at third base and gets his Colossus out, it gets really, really hard. I don't have a reputation for cheesing. I didn't think he'd expect it. And I wanted to force him into panic mode because he's pretty slow.
Absolutely awesome play, man. So you're going to walk out of here, our Intel Extreme Masters Global Challenge Guangzhou champion. That's a pretty nice paycheck. It's great for you to see you returning to form. I don't know when you go back to Korea, but you go back to Korea sometime soon. Could you maybe tell us about that?
Early December. Yeah, I just have this run of tournaments. There's like 3 or 4 in October and then 3 or 4 in November. So I'm going to finish out that, and then I'm off to Korea for probably 3 months or so. Just mostly focus on training.
Awesome stuff. Will you be participating in GSL at all while you're over there?
Probably, and I mean, I'll take it as seriously as I would any tournament, but the main focus is to get good again.
All right. That's awesome stuff, man. Greg, thank you so much. Congratulations on your win, and I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more from you in the very near future.
Thank
you. All right, guys, so next up, I think, is, well, what is next up, Carmack?
Next up, we're going to give out the Sick Nerd Baller trophy. Just a reminder, this is the guy that delivered the greatest amount of pleasure to his fans. And I have to say, hold on a second, because I forgot the suit who will give him the Sick Nerd Baller everything. Sorry about that. I shouldn't forget about Intel. How can I forget about Intel?
This is a pretty important guy that you're just discarding, Carmack.
He's a suit, even though he's not dressed for the part. Let's welcome to the stage Mr. George Wu from Intel. Hello, George.
Hi, Miel.
All right. So we'll talk to you a little bit later. We need you here to give the hoodie and all these goodies to Mr. Sick Nerd Baller, also known as Dennis Hassop-Schneider, winner by 8 votes. So, Dennis, while George brings you all of this stuff, that's quite a lot. You want to take the hoodie? Go ahead. Did you expect this?
No, not really. But I'm happy. I'm really happy.
What are you going to do with the stuff?
I'm not sure yet, but I think I'm going to sign this card, and then we will probably raffle it on Mousesports or maybe on my Facebook site. I'm not sure yet. We will figure it out. And yeah, Razer stuff is awesome.
All right then. Not only Razer, but you also get a Core i7 processor, Extreme Edition from Intel, and one of these fantastic BenQ monitors. So once again, a big round of applause for Mr. Hassop.
All right. Now, George, come over here. You're Chinese. Chinese American. Chinese American. American of Chinese descent. All right. It's your 2 minutes to talk to the community. Thank them for the support for this fantastic event. We're in Guangzhou. Your 2 minutes.
All right. I just want to thank everybody here in Guangzhou, China for welcoming the Intel Extreme Masters program. It's been a very successful week so far, and your enthusiasm for esports has been just fabulous. So I want to thank you all for being here and witnessing the greatest, well, the top gamers around the world to compete in our championship here in Guangzhou. So thank you.
All right then. So the last moment here in Guangzhou, the trophy ceremony. Let's have all three players here on stage. That would be EG Puma, Acer elfittaja, and EG IdrA. The top three of the Intel Extreme Masters Guangzhou Global Challenge. Puma, smile a little bit. All right, George, please do the honors. Second place over here, elfittaja, our Finnish underdog. And if I'm not mistaken, the first Intel Extreme Masters Championship for Greg IdrA Fields, EG IdrA. So as far as StarCraft goes, I guess this was it. The players got what they deserved. $6,500 for IdrA, glass trophy. Maybe a word from each player. Today, Koreans didn't own white dudes. elfittaja, we haven't spoken to you after the final. Couple of words to your fans. I mean, you've been certainly the underdog performance of this tournament. How do you feel right now?
Well, I'm feeling really good. I didn't expect I could go this far in the tournament. I want to thank all my fans at my team Acer for sending me here.
All right, I don't see our Korean translator over here, so we've spoken to IdrA. We will have to skip Puma. I guess for the StarCraft stream, this is it. Thank you again for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the support. Team Liquid, Reddit, ESL, all the fans. Thank you again very, very much. And we'll see each other in New York City.
Not spotted him. And he goes jumping in. Amazing round. Great hat-trick from Taz.
Big flashes in and casts the ultimate. Lina, 20 health left. Oh no, she will flash it. The shield clutch.
Oh, a blink into all those units. An amazing defense. Champion of the Intel Extreme Masters.